Hello everybody, my name's Swords, and today we're going to be talking about more Marvel Rivals. The game just released and has already reached 100,000 concurrent players at launch. That is insane. And the hype is not dying down anytime soon. I've been having a blast playing, and I've been noticing players make mistakes but not realizing what they're doing wrong in the first place. I'm hoping this video will help reach players that want to win more games and help correct their own mistakes. Let's get started. The first problem I see players making is not shooting the Ankh. Now, what's an Ankh? Well, this is the Ankh, and I mean this weapon of mass destruction. You need to be shooting this Ankh whenever you see it, because let me explain what it actually does. Whenever you're up against an enemy Moon Knight, they can throw this practically anywhere and bounce their attacks off of it toward you, and those attacks bounce off of you onto your team. And when your team's grouped up, it does a lot of damage to your team very quickly. Do not ignore this. This is public enemy number one. You need to destroy every last one of these you see like your life is at stake, because it is destroying y'all. To add on to this, players also aren't destroying Loki's runestones. These runestones appear when Loki activates his regeneration domain, a very powerful defensive ability that converts damage to healing to anyone within it. So when playing against an enemy Loki using this ability, what you need to destroy are the runestones that appear above Loki and his doppelgangers to end the effect. It's important to destroy this because the enemy Loki is likely using them to stop your incoming damage or your teammates' incoming damage, like from an ultimate from your team. So it's in your interest to take these out as soon as you see them. As some of you already know, the games are already getting tough. Players are getting good at their characters, understanding the maps, and for those of you playing solo, you might even find your team to be a challenge itself, which is why a mistake I'm seeing players make is not using team ups. I found that switching to a team up with another character on your team can turn around a losing match to a win. And if you don't understand why, let me explain. Team ups are more than just giving another player in your team an ability, or vice versa. The anchor also gets benefits from a team up too, despite not gaining an extra ability. Typically, the anchor can receive like a 15% damage boost or 15% healing boost, which is huge and extremely helpful for difficult matches. So it is in your interest to consider swapping to some sort of team up at the beginning of a match or for more difficult games. You don't always need to team up, but at least consider it if you're having a rough time in a match. And the extra abilities are pretty good enough to make a difference. Even if it helps your team take out a single enemy, it makes the world a difference. Remember that at the hero select screen, you can see possible team ups with other heroes on your team. It's important to keep in mind which heroes are on your team, because a huge mistake that I know a lot of you are talking about is not having a team composition. I'm talking about playing with 5 duelists and a single strategist. To explain what a team composition is, it's essentially a balance of roles on your team. Too many of one type of role is prone to its issues. Obviously, you can win with these team compositions, but of course, it's not too likely and usually really difficult against an actual team. This is one of the biggest problems right now for quick play matchmaking, and I'm curious to see how it goes for competitive. So to help guide you, there are mainly 2 types of team compositions that I will suggest for you to try and build in matchmaking. That's going to be what I'm going to call 2-2-2 or 1-2-3. 2-2-2 is 2 vanguards, 2 duelists, and 2 strategists, which is a balance of all the roles and has enough flexibility in its team composition to help do what the team needs in playing for the map objective. It's important to have at least 2 strategists because every team needs healing and support. So having another player in your team helping out with this is going to be easy, and both strategists can heal each other. Together, both strategists should be able to keep the tanks and duelists alive as well as protect them. Both of the vanguards are free to play as they like, knowing they have another vanguard to make space for the team and maintain presence. The duelists also have the space and healing they need to take out key targets and do consistent damage without running off for health packs too much. 2-2-2 is the composition I recommend you try to build toward most of the time. The other team composition, 1-2-3, I think also works for matchmaking, which is going to be 1 vanguard, 2 strategists, and 3 duelists. No matter your team composition, you always want at least 2 strategists. Leaving it up to 1 strategist is just not going to work against a good team because it's too much to heal. So it's very important you always have at least 2 strategists no matter what the team composition is. Having a vanguard in the team comp is important because that player is going to be creating space for the team and help everyone else play the objective. Now that vanguard player needs to play a little bit cautious in this composition because they're going to be a bit exposed, so they may need to get the occasional health back or so. For the other 3 duelists, really, they're able to play how they want, and this is the composition that I see most in my matchmaking, and I can accept this. So please, for the sake of the community, don't play quad DPS or penta DPS. It's not working, y'all. Let's work together on this. By the way, I want you to know that I'm streaming Marvel Rivals live on Twitch. Link in the description below from 2 to 6 p.m. Or even later hours. So stop by and say hello. Don't be a stranger. All right, let's get back to the video. The next issue I've been noticing is players not playing the objective. Racking up as many KOs as you can is extremely fun, but the whole point is the objective. I see players get carried away all the time and run away from the objective chasing KOs, leaving a teammate behind to get attacked by the enemy team on the objective. Even worse, I don't see players contesting the objective enough, especially on convoy maps where the objective is being delivered. Remember y'all, all you need to do is be within the zone of the objective to contest it, and you can delay the enemy team's time by a lot if you fight on these objectives. Don't just give them free space, you make the enemy earn their space. So Vanguard players, I'm looking at y'all. That's your objective. Contest it if you can and focus on creating space for your team. If a match is getting really difficult or someone on the enemy team is a problem for you, another issue I see is people not hero swapping. Sticking to the same hero if it's not working is only gonna hurt the team. Keep in mind that your ultimate progress will carry over up to 50% of your ultimate to whoever swapped to if you have 50% of your ult or more, which is honestly really good and even encouraging to hero swap. If you're having a rough game, ask yourself which character you and your team would be better off with if you swapped heroes. For me, a hero swap always has the chance to turn a game around. Just because you're having a bad game with one character doesn't mean you still have that same bad game playing as another. Don't be afraid to switch characters. Be a team player. Figure out what would mess the enemy up and help you the most. Finally, I've seen this all launch and I'm sure I will continue to see it for years, but this is about wasting your ultimate. The biggest waste I see for this is in the game mode domination, where you're fighting for the point and whichever team gets the best 2 out of 3 possible rounds wins. So the thing about this mode is even if one of the rounds ends, your ultimate progress still carries over to the next round. Don't pop your ultimate at the end of a round because you think you're not going to have it next. You are going to have your ultimate and you're just going to waste it. Hold on to it if you can. Only use your ultimates if you feel the need that you have to. I've made this mistake before and I'm sure we all have. And it's not just in domination. I see players wasting their ultimate in general. Only use your ultimates when you feel the need to. If your team is playing well and you are beating the enemy without your ultimates anyway, you're better off just saving them for a better opportunity you can get more value out of. But I would say read the room and figure out for yourself when you think it's time. And that's about it. That's all I've got for y'all today. But what mistakes have y'all seen? What mistakes are players making that I haven't said? Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching the video and please like and subscribe for more content. I'll see y'all in the next one.